So we're going to start out with some hamstring stretches. We're going to do a little bit of a stretch for the back. We'll do a stretch for the front of the leg, and let's start there. So from table pose, step forward with your left leg. If you have problems with your back knee on the floor, if you take up a rolled up towel and you slide it not underneath your kneecap, but just above your kneecap, so that when you lunge, your knee is kind of floating a little bit up off the floor. I have a small towel here, but you can grab a bigger one if you want to. So starting with a lunge, bend your front knee. Left ankle below the knee, sink your hips nice and low, and just stretch out the front of the hips. Take a few breaths there, move things around, get comfortable. Maybe come up onto your fingertips and lengthen out your spine a little bit. And then we're going to do the hamstring stretch. So dig in your right toe, start to straighten both legs, any amount. And if you need a little bit of prop or support, if bringing your fingertips to the floor is just too hard for you, you can grab any kind of prop or support you want. So I've got some KD boxes, canned food, whatever you like, to help you support your legs. Take a few breaths with your legs straight. If you can, soften your elbows, let your chin fall into your chest. Nice big breath in, nice big breath out. And then we're going to go back into our lunge. So right knee comes to the floor onto your towel. See if you can bend your left knee, start to stretch out the front of that right hip. Roll your shoulders up and back. Try lengthening out your spine. And then back into your hamstring stretch. Dig in your front toes, start to straighten out your back leg. See if you could twist your right hip a little bit forward, swivel your left hip a little bit back. Maybe drop your chin into your chest, bend your elbows, let your head get heavy. Nice big breath in. Nice big breath out. Back down into your lunge, right knee to the floor. Straighten or bend your left knee, sink your hips nice and low, stretch out the front of your right hip. And then last time, we'll do the left hamstring. So dig in your right toe, straighten out your left leg. Straighten out your right leg. If you can, straightening out both legs. See if you could soften your elbows, chin to your chest. Roll your right hip a little bit forward or down to the floor. Twist your left hip a little bit back. And then we're going to switch legs. So whenever you're ready, just your right knee comes down to the floor. You're going to bring your left leg back and step your right foot forward any way that works for you. So make your way into a comfortable lunge. Right ankle below your knee. Bend your right knee, sink your hips nice and low. Adjusting your towel onto the left side if you need it. Stretch out the front of your left hip. Maybe fingertips to the floor. See if you could lengthen out your spine. See if you could swivel your hips a little bit on this side. So left hip rolls a little bit forward, right hip shifts a little bit back. And then hamstring stretch. Dig in your left toe, start to straighten out your left leg, start to straighten out your right leg. Roll your left hip a little bit forward, twist your right hip a little bit back. Whenever you're ready, left knee to the floor, bending your left knee, bending your right knee, sink your hips low, roll your shoulders back, lengthen out your spine. Right hip, left hip a little forward, twist your right hip a little bit back. Back into your hamstring stretch, dig in your left toes, straighten out your right leg, that's 2. Maybe soften your elbows, chin to your chest, nice big breath in, nice big breath out. And then last time, left knee to the floor, bend your right knee, lengthen out your spine, adjust your hips, and then last time, hamstring stretch. Wiggle your hips a little bit. Find a good spot, relax your jaw, breathe. If you can, soften your elbows. And then we're just going to walk or crawl to the left side. So you're going to make your way into a wide-legged forward fold. Feet nice and wide apart. You want to feel like they're wide but not uncomfortable. And again, if you find it hard to touch the floor, grab onto any kind of prop or support you need to. Try and straighten your legs. They don't have to be perfectly straight. Try straightening your legs. Maybe even bend your elbows, drop your chin into your chest. Let your head start to hang heavy. You're going to stand or straighten up your arms, straighten out your spine. Bring your left hand underneath your chest, and your right hand is going to come onto your sacrum, so just below your lower back. And as soon as you bring that right elbow up, your hips are going to want to twist to the right. I want you to twist your hips back to the floor. You're going to start to roll out that right shoulder. Maybe notice your body or your hips wanting to twist to the right. Bring them back into the center, moving around your shoulder. And then switch sides. Right hand to the floor underneath your chest, left hand onto your hips. Instead of twisting your body to the left, bring your hips back to the floor. Start to roll out that left shoulder. And then switch. Left hand to the floor, right hand onto your sacrum or below your spine. See if you can turn your hips so they're facing the floor. You're going to roll your right shoulder up to your ear and up towards the ceiling. Push your hand into your spine. You should feel with your hands when your hips are kind of parallel to the floor. So your right shoulder's rolling up to your ear, up towards the ceiling, and you're going to get really tall through your spine or really long through your spine. And then let's switch. Right hand to the floor, left hand onto your sacrum. Find that straight hip position. Roll your left shoulder up to your ear, up towards the ceiling. Get long through your spine. And then one more time. Left hand to the floor, right hand to your hips. Check that your hips are square to the floor. Roll your right shoulder up to your ear, up towards the ceiling. Check that your hips are turning to the floor as your right shoulder twists up. Get long through your spine. And then last time. Right hand to the floor, left hand to your hips. Square your hips up. Roll your left shoulder up to your ear, up towards the ceiling. Hips stay facing the ground. Get really long through your spine. Get all the way back into the center. Walk or crawl yourself back to the front of your mat. Let's just go into a child's pose. So stepping back with your right leg, knees nice and wide apart. Bring your big toes together. See if you can sink your bum down to your heels, and you can just rest your forehead onto your hands. If you have a prop, like a rolled up towel, you can bring your forehead onto that prop. Or if it's really comfortable, go ahead and bring your forehead to the ground and just take a few breaths there.